My name is Ahlam and I'm the writer of You Bury Me.
I write under a pseudonym and prefer to remain anonymous.
Maybe it's because I get to avoid doing all the press stuff. Maybe it gives me an edge, keeps people wondering, is it because of political reasons, or is it because of my own anxiety, or is it because I'm actually a famous person or even a white guy? I'm joking. So the cast of You Bury Me are my spokespeople today.
I'm a playwright. I'm Egyptian, amongst other nationalities.
And I mostly write scripts.
I don't write prose, I don't write poetry, I only write scripts.
I wrote the first draft of You Bury Me in 2015, which is when the play is set. And I think at the time there was an urgency to it. I had this immense yearning to tell the world, aka the UK, which was where I was living at the time, about what was happening back home, what was happening in Egypt.
Originally, what I wanted to write was a play about the absurdity of being in love in a police state.
But 2015 was a very dark year for Egypt, and there was this feeling that all hope had died, that everything the people had fought for in 2011 was over, and this new regime, this new military dictatorship had taken over was dangerous, and it was a danger that I couldn't ignore.
People were going missing, being imprisoned, being killed. I couldn't write about Egypt without responding to what was happening at the time.
But now, You Bury Me is a love letter to Cairo, to Egypt, to the revolution, and everyone who fought for it.
After I won the Women's Prize for Playwriting and it felt like it might be staged,
I started to really reflect on 2015, and I realised that I had started to forget some of the details of what happened then.
The play's urgency became much more about remembrance and honouring and grief. Grieving the revolution, grieving those that put their lives and bodies on the line, and those that we've lost.
I think the play became less about sort of telling people what was happening and more what I wanted to say to and about Egypt.
a processing of sorts.
I think people underestimate audiences, and by people, I mean theatre and arts institutions.
I get asked a lot, who is the audience for this? I get most excited when my audience is mixed, a mix of ages, genders, experiences, cultures. I do believe theatre is for everyone. I trust audiences and I find it interesting to see what resonates with some and not with others.
We're not homogenous, so I'm not interested in seeing audiences have the same reactions or experiences of the work.
I think British institutions find it difficult to place me. What I write doesn't fit into their expectations of what a migrant woman or an Arab writer should be writing about. When you're talking about heavy themes and dark political moments, there's this want to make it trauma porn. It's the framework that many theatre establishments in Europe are more comfortable with.
You Bury Me got rejected many times because producers thought it didn't tackle the politics with enough weight. But the play has always been about the lightness within the dark. It's about the warmth and humour and love in the face of oppression. I found audiences to be receptive to that, but yet there's this pressure for it to be only one thing, which is trauma-driven.
So when I won the Women's Prize, it just felt like this great boost in confidence, like I'd finally found my place in the British playwriting scene. And honestly, I had absolutely no expectation of winning it.
I entered just to have my work read by the readers, just to see if they might say they liked it or saw something in it. To win really made me believe in what I was trying to do.
And then developing the play with Plains Plough and our director, Katie Posner, felt like such a privilege because they understood what I wanted to do. There was no pressure to make it one thing.
Often, plays like You Bury Me are classed as issue plays that are meant to sort of challenge the audience, particularly a white audience.
What's great is that Plains Plough never expected me to do that.
They saw that the play was much more than that.
A key part of Arabic culture is hospitality. I see my audience as guests and I want to look after them.
There's this capitalist framework that says audiences need to be entertained. They need to be challenged.
That the work needs to be worth their money. And there's this expectation for them to leave having gained something in a transactional way.
But Katie and I understand early on that what is important about theatre is bringing people together.
And some people may like it and some people may not, but they can hopefully have a conversation afterwards and discuss it. That's what the real value is for me.
I love melodrama. Western critics can often be snobbish about melodrama and dismiss it, but especially in Arabic culture, it's a huge part of how we tell stories.
It's populist, and I want to embrace that in my writing.
I do want to be good for my audience so that they can come together and have an experience, whatever that may be.